Welcome to our very first edition of Global Midlife Sisterhood Member Highlight. Today, our guest is Anne Lyhne. Anne is an artist who specializes in painting mature women. It's a subject that's mostly neglected in the art world, as well as in the mass media. I first noticed Anne's work in a Facebook group for artists. I was immediately taken by the uniqueness of her subject matter, her beautiful Art Nouveau style, which is my favorite, the bold colors, the imaginative details that allow you to travel inside your own mind and create your own fascinating stories after seeing those pictures. And above all, I find a sense of joy bubbling through her canvas. Anne is 42 years old, married with 2 young children. And in 2016, she and her family decided to migrate from their home in Denmark to the former communist country of Bulgaria so that she can pursue her dream of painting and writing full time. It was a courageous act in midlife. Now she and her husband are living their dream life while watching their children grow up in an untamed environment far away from industrialization. Such a fascinating story, isn't it? I can't wait to hear more. Let's welcome Anne to our show. Yay!
Thank you, Louisa. Thank you for all the wonderful words. Thank you for having me. It's wonderful to be here.
So great to have you. Tell us, Anne, now you had lived in Denmark your whole life. Why did you decide to leave the country and move to a former communist country all of a sudden?
Yeah, well, it is weird, and people here think we are absolutely crazy. But we didn't move here because it had nothing to do with it being communist or anything like that. It was, for us, it's not very important. I can imagine that it's more weird in America, but here we're just next to the Soviet Union, so it's not so far away. But anyway, I had been in Estonia, which has also been in the East Bloc before, for 1 year, and had traveled there a lot. So I was not totally new to the concept of going to the other side. But it was not a question about communism. It was a question about the weird and the wonderful thing about going from a rich country. Denmark is one of the richest countries in Europe, and Bulgaria is the poorest in Eastern Europe, but that also makes it the cheapest. So we had all of a sudden, we had lost Simon, my husband's mother, unfortunately, in a young age, and she had left us a big inheritance. And we thought we would make it a worthwhile, not just like use that money for everything and nothing. So we would want to do something significant with it. And we said she was a bold woman. She worked and lived some of her older years in Greenland, and had gone on adventures many times. So she was really cool and a big role model of mine. And she was like in her 50s, taking new educations and going abroad to live. And I thought, yeah, we want to do that. So that was, and we had always had like a joke between us, Simon and I, that if everything went wrong, we could always go to Bulgaria because then your money will last longer. And all of a sudden that idea seemed to grow in our minds, and thought, okay, perhaps that was not such a silly joke only. It could be an idea.
I like that. Yeah, so your mother-in-law, she was an amazing woman. So
she was a big inspiration.
Yeah. So now,
but it was in a situation where we were in middle of limbo. We didn't know what to do with our lives. Yeah.
So now that was a joke, all right? And how did that grow into something more serious? Like, what were the events that led you to actually make a decision to try out Bulgaria?
Yeah. That was a less funny situation. It was the story about the woman who had it all and suddenly realized I don't really want it. So long story would be that in a short amount of time, I had found my husband. We had tried to get kids, we couldn't, so we went to IVF treatment. We got twins. That was a huge journey and took a long time itself. Then I finished from university as a teacher. I got a steady job. We bought a house in the country. And this was just in a very short amount of time. And I thought, yeah, now I have it all down. I know what I want to do with my life. I will be a grown up now. I will take responsibility. I will pay my bills. And I just feel like, oh, get me out of here. I can't breathe. I can't stay here. I wanted to break free and live my life more freely. I had been an artist my whole life. Before I was a teacher, I had for many years lived as an actor. And of course, that is not something that pays your bills. So I had done the sensible choice, went to university, got my degree as a teacher, and did what my mother said I should do.
I see. Now that is very
Yeah, what
interesting.
everybody told me was the sensible choice, and I just
Exactly.
couldn't stay. So
Sensible, yeah.
I almost left my husband. I almost left the whole thing, but I couldn't do that anymore. That was my previous go-to. You know, when you are not comfortable, you just want to run
Yes.
and go on the next adventure. But now I had two small children, I had a mortgage, and I had like more responsibility. I was in fact, a grown up, even though I realized I don't want to be a grown up.
Well, you really touched on a lot of issues that I think a lot of us midlife women, experience. We had those goals in our
Hmm.
lives, and those were what everybody else does,
Yeah,
and what
exactly.
our parents told us you should
Yeah,
do.
exactly. Be normal, be sensible, clever, do the right thing.
Exactly. Exactly. And then once you are on the path, you have reached those goals, or you are well on your way to a
Mhm.
very secure life. And then what? So tell us a little bit more about how you felt inside, in your soul.
I
Yeah.
felt like I was withering away, like just being gray. And I just remembering waking up and saying, is this my life from now on? I have fought so hard, or we have fought so hard to get these kids, and now they're here, and now I'm just putting them in an institution and then going to work and coming home again and preparing dinner and going to bed, and the same thing is going on the next day. And I really admire people. I truly, truly admire people that can do that their whole life. I think it's remarkable. My parents have raised me in a very secure environment in a suburb in Denmark. They came from quite good families, but I mean, they both had a dad that was either physically or mentally ill, and they had to become grown-ups much earlier than they were supposed to.
I
So
see.
I had all the possibilities to have a good life, and then I was so spoiled, and then I dared to say, "But I want more. I want more. I want to be. I have to be an artist. I have to. It's
Oh,
not a choice even. It's just, yeah. I have realized that because I have struggled with that since we went here. Why did I have to do this? Because I went far away from my family. I broke up everything, and I had to get out of there. And why did I have to do that?
so something in your soul, in your heart,
Mm.
was calling you. Like you
Yeah,
have to. It's like a calling, right? You
it is.
you're compelled to be the artist that you're
Yeah.
meant to be,
And
right?
as a teacher, that was supposed to be my calling, but it just wasn't.
Mm,
And then you cannot have a well, some people can go through life and decide that they want to make a difference in other people's lives, and I do that. I want to do that, but that was just not my path.
Yeah, so it's I think it's amazing that you attended to this true calling of becoming an artist. Now, from your life in a very secure environment and then to a completely unknown environment,
Yeah.
this is a huge transition. Tell us what, what was the hardest part about leaving your home country for Bulgaria? And also, what was the easiest part for you?
Yeah, the easiest part, well, if I could start with that, that would be that I didn't have to go to work anymore. I could create myself again. The first year, I didn't really work. I didn't know that I was going to be an artist. I had painted before, and that was a hobby of mine, but I thought I was going to write a book, actually. But then I started just doing it, and then it just snowballed and went on from there. But that I could live my full potential, that was the best part, and spend so much time with the kids. They were 4.5 at that point. They hadn't started school yet. In Denmark, you don't start before you're 6 or 7, and in Bulgaria as well. Okay. So they were in kindergarten, and we spend half a year just staying with them, just exploring our new country. And yeah, that was really nice. That was not something that you could do. And then after that, we are always there for them every time they come home from school, and every weekend we are with them the whole time. We can take them from school and go traveling, and that's the best thing. Yeah, so
that's
spending
wonderful.
time with family. Yeah,
that was the easy part.
Yeah, that was the easy part.
What was the difficult part?
The hardest part have been it's like practical stuff, like learning the language, which is difficult. I haven't mastered that. The kids are speaking fluently Bulgarian, and they are really good, and English as well. But my husband and I, we suck at it. Sorry, we really do. It's really bad. We speak baby Bulgarian, yeah, but Bulgarian is like the Cyrillic alphabet, like they do. They have created that, and that has gone to Russia, so that they have the same alphabet as Russia, and that just gives you a little bit of idea how far away. And then COVID has been challenging. We haven't been able to see our family as much as we want to, and we have learned that they have a really very different culture when it comes to crisis situations here in Bulgaria. So like 75% of the country are in some kind of anti-vaxxers. That's really difficult. And so in a crisis, then you can really feel that you're far away from home.
Yeah.
So that's been most difficult, that you have to deal with a society that it has a very, very different approach to life than you do. But also exciting, and every day it's an adventure, and peculiar and strange, and I kind of like that, because in Denmark everything is very orderly and tight and
well organized. Yeah,
well organized, a bit
and
German.
maybe very predictable compared to where you live.
Yeah, very predictable.
So that leads me to my next question. So tell us a little bit more about your immediate environment where you live. Now, I know you live in the countryside in a house, and it's pretty far away from any city, right? Can you describe?
It's half an hour from a city. It's really a small country, this. And Denmark is as well. We only have 6 million people here, and in Denmark as well. So we're used to small. Yeah, so it's tiny, small compared to America. But it is nice. We live half an hour from a relatively big city. We live half an hour from the Black Sea. We live 3 hours away from the mountains, so we can go skiing in the winter, swimming in the summer. It's warm here. Sun is out 300 days a year. It's beautiful surroundings and the culture here. That's the good part. Again, we start with that, put on the good glasses, and then there's a lot of poverty, serious poverty.
Wow.
And there's just so many people here struggling very much. Yeah. So that's the not so kind and not so lovely thing about living here. You see the black and white, but that I kind of like that too, because it's honest. I like that it's not hidden away, and because in Denmark it was there as well, not as much, but I mean it was. There will always be people in need, and there will always be people that are struggling. And even though they may be doing better than here, then I like that everything is obvious. That makes any sense.
Yes, I think it does because, I have lived in Sweden myself, and the Swedish society is very similar to the Danish society, I think, in terms of the social structure. And so, yeah, there are certain things that you kind of just don't really talk about because we like to think that it's the best country in the world,
Exactly.
So there are a lot of things that it's a taboo. But personally, I'm like you. I like to be honest, and I like to see the world as it is. And there are good things, bad things, but it just makes us a part of this humanity, the human society. It's not only everything is positive and rosy. So I want to now switch our attention to your artwork, because I know that after you have moved to Bulgaria, you have been inspired by what you see in this strange, beautiful country. Can you tell us a bit more about your inspirations and what you paint?
It is, of course, I have made directly taken from Bulgarian society, but it's not so much that. It's more like I'm in contact with people from all over the world now. I have friends from very many places. I talk to people worldwide, and that is what has inspired me. I could have done that in Denmark, but probably wouldn't have, because I would have had the normal life. And this is such a weird life that I get in contact with people from all over, and my network here is also super international. So that is more what I'm inspired by, that with the women and with the mature women that I paint, that we are all in kind of the same boat, we say in Denmark. We're in the same situation. And that's very inspiring, that this is kind of a thing that is women all over the world are struggling with, the fact that we are getting older.
Yeah, and I think
sounds simple.
That's an amazing subject that you have taken upon, because I rarely see any artist at all who paints mature women, and in a very positive light, and not only positive but complex, because our lives are complex. It's just not one thing or another, right? Not black and white, like you said. There are the struggles and there are the triumphs. And tell us a little bit more about what you include in the artwork. Would you like to show us some of your paintings of these women? Okay, so I'm going to bring this on. Here we go.
Okay. Yeah, the first one here, of course, it's obvious that it's a naked woman. And if you don't tell anybody, I'll tell you that I've actually used myself as a model there. That is scary as hell.
Wow. Very courageous.
Having my husband taking pictures of me in the garden butt naked.
Wow, I love that.
But it's just easier to use yourself as a model. But anyway, it was just to show a real body. It was just to this is a woman like going through struggles and she has kind of a bird cage. This is something I dream. I don't know exactly what it is I'm doing and why, but these pictures come to me, and yeah, I can take the next one. This is
I
kind of the
love that. Yeah.
same.
Like a dreamscape.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of the also a dreamscape here. This is based on one of my first experiences here of pure freedom. Just like, yes, the world is my oyster now. I can go anywhere. I can do anything because now I have freed myself from the slavery of working every day for somebody else.
That's wonderful.
And staying in Bulgaria, you see also more firsthand all the mess that people are making in our lives, all the filth and all the old stuff, scrapes that's all over the place. So this is it's called back to the drawing board. That maybe we should like think about nature and climate in a new way, and maybe go back to where we came from instead of trying to find a new way.
Oh, okay. That's wonderful.
And this is about myself and my kids,
Mhm.
our twins,
Mhm.
and about being a mother.
Oh,
So this is like a different kinds of facets about being a woman, and this is only I have only just started to touch this subject. So it's have started this journey about womanhood, and yeah.
mhm, mhm.
So this was the first painting I did of the mature women for the calendar I just finished. I wanted to make a painting for all the 12th month in the year. And this was what I started because I'm from February. And then I started with February. Just
I see. So this happened only 1 year ago.
this happened in October.
Ah, okay.
So
Mhm.
it's not very far. It's
Very
I
recent.
suddenly, or September or something, then I realized, okay, I have to work fast if I need to get these all 12 of them done, because that this one had such a massive reaction. I didn't know what I was doing when I started out painting for
Wow.
mature women, but I saw very clearly that people responded like, yes, yeah, I want to see more of this.
I
And
was
then,
one of them. I
yeah,
remember
exactly.
seeing that painting
I was
when it
so
first came out.
I was so surprised that, yeah, I didn't really realize it myself. I was just so surprised that why have nobody taken on this subject before?
Hmm. And
But they hadn't. So
right. And I remember you talking about, doing some research for your
mhm,
subject. Can you tell us
yeah,
a little bit more about that process?
yeah. I tried first to find pictures online for as my models, because I always work from photos. And I was Googling, trying to find women, and I wrote women in my Google search. And then young girls came up on my screen, like 25-year-olds or younger, like models and skinny looking, beautiful girls. And I was like, no, that's not what I want. And I Googled and I searched, and I had to like come up with words like old, fat woman,
Oh,
or like senior citizen or something like that. And I was like, hang on, this is not right.
no.
This is not who I am at all.
Wow.
But I had to Google those words to find somebody who would represent a little bit fuller person. And I'm not even that chubby. But if I had to go like a little bit bigger, then I really have to bring out the vocabulary. Maybe it's just because I'm not so good at, but I mean, I was so surprised. And then I reached out to women, and I've got this photo sent to me. It
Hmm.
said, I really would like to paint you guys, women over 50.
Ah,
doing stuff that you love to do. And then this was actually the, I think it was the daughter of this woman. She said, "Oh, my mother, she's so beautiful. Will you please paint her?"
Oh, I love
And
this
she sent me
movie.
this photo. So that was lovely.
So joyful. I love
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah, me too. And
And
then
right.
I
Mm,
sent out more requests and I got different kinds of hits. This was also actually a daughter sending me the mother's photo. She was
mm,
95, no, 85,
wow.
and having trouble remembering.
Uh-huh.
And then I made it a topic in one of my paintings about this memory and loss of memory, and also going back in time. The girl here is my daughter, so
Mhm.
it was like the clash between being a very young girl in your mind and then an older woman on the outside.
Mm.
We actually never got to see that picture because she died
Oh,
before it
oh,
was.
that's so
Yeah, that
sad.
was really sad.
But it's really, really touching, this image. And my
Yeah,
first reaction was, she is such a beautiful woman.
yeah,
Her
exactly.
face so kind and gentle.
Mhm.
And then this young girl, she was once a young girl like that. So
Exactly.
the immediate juxtaposition really, highlights the importance of looking at a woman, throughout the entire life spectrum, not
Mhm.
just at one
Yeah,
point, oh, she looks old, or, she looks ugly. I mean, this is what the media is doing to our minds, right? And so
exactly.
we dismiss the other parts of a person. And then, so this
We
image,
all we
right?
all have that girl inside of us
We
still.
do.
None of us feel, I don't think, very many of us feel like we are not still that young girl. She's in there.
Yes,
Yeah, we
this is beautiful.
carry. We if we have to remember her and
Yeah.
the wild. Yeah.
We remember the young girl and we nurture her also. I think
Hmm.
that's, a
Yeah.
really wonderful image to remind us. All right.
Thank you. Then I went deeper in, and I thought, okay, what's the different topics that's difficult for us to talk about, is kind of taboo, and that would be menopause as one of them, like having hot flashes or hot
Mm.
flushes. I don't know, it's difficult, it's different if you say it in American or English.
Hot flash.
uh, Hot flashes in America, all right.
Mm.
And then like you have this lava coming down and you feel like so all of a sudden want to take all of the clothes off, and then you, my idea was that you bloom in red flowers. So
Oh,
I had
that's a
never
wonderful idea. Mhm.
it's not such a wonderful experience, but but we have to address it
Yes.
nonetheless.
It's like acknowledging it, and you make it beautiful. And it's nothing to be ashamed about, right?
No, no, but
Mhm.
it's natural. I'm a bit ashamed that we don't hear more about it,
Yes.
and it's weird that we are not. Our mothers or grandmothers tell us about becoming of age and having our first period and stuff. They do in my country anyway,
Mhm.
um, but not very many tells about menopause.
No, I
We have
think
to.
it's true across many, many cultures. It's
Mhm.
hush hush, It's nothing eventful. It's just
No.
the end of your period. That's it, period.
Yeah, but it's not. It's a big of a whole new era,
It is. It's a big deal, actually. Just
and
like
it can
young
be.
people when they go through teenage years is a rite of passage. It's a
Mhm.
big deal for them, right? Becoming
Yeah.
an adult. But we becoming entering the second half of our life, that's a big deal. And I think that part of it, the reason why people, hide it, hush hush, is because they're normally people think our health is declining
Mm.
and our sex life is declining because of that, and it's not glamorous, so
Mm.
people don't want to talk about it. But
No.
I think that both you and I are here, we want to break the taboo, And so tell us a little bit more about how you are hoping your artwork to change the culture.
Um, I would just like to talk to people because but doing making art is a kind of a selfish act because it's a narcissistic need to tell my story, basically. But I would like to share, and I would like to make it okay for women to talk about this, and to just to open up and let's have a conversation. And it's not so scared. Don't be so scared. It's just life, and it's nature, and that's what's going on. So I've always been brutally honest. So it's not such a new thing for me. But I would like to get in contact with other people because this is obviously something that I'm struggling with as well, getting older and not being on the top of my game anymore. But I actually feel I am in a much better place than I was when I was younger. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that's
I'm
wonderful.
I'm getting to be more like of my full potential
Oh,
than I have ever been. So and I think that could be the case for many others actually.
I'm so glad to hear that. And just, I'm so happy in my heart to hear, you as an example of somebody who can start to live your life
Mm.
to the fullest potential. Something that I think that when we were younger, we would follow this conventional path, what we were told to do, and then we were not really doing what our heart desires. And so you're a very good example of how to do that. And I love the fact that you are inviting a conversation with your
Mm.
artwork. So it's not just introspective, but it's also very um, expressive, and also
Mm.
invites conversations. So
I
I
hope I'm
really hope
working.
that, yeah, the women who are watching this video, both live and later on in a recording, that you will start to engage in a conversation with us. And if you would like to be featured, by Anne.
Yeah,
Anne, would you
yes.
like to get
Oh
photos from?
yes, definitely. Because I have made this calendar. This is now like this is finished, and this is an actual
Oh,
calendar. But
look
I'm
at
doing
that.
an art project next. So this is physically like different kinds of all the month of the year, and
Uh-huh.
it's like really thick, so you could stick it in the frame afterwards, and then you have
Mm.
prints from it. But
Mhm.
this is done already, and I'm off to the next project. You can
Oh,
still
okay. Tell
buy
me
this,
about the
and
next
I'll
project.
make it new calendars as well with the
You
same
can.
pictures. I think for 2023, if you are not quick
Oh,
enough to get it for 22. But
how exciting.
I will also make a new project also about this subject because I've only just started, and I want to do much more with the women uh, past 50, and I would love to have models. I don't know exactly what my next project will be, but
Mhm.
it will be something to do with the things that we do, the things that we like to do or fear to do, or things that motivate us. But it can be anything like knitting or painting or running or taking care of kids or
Mhm.
cooking and or doing sports. I don't know what it is that keeps people ticked. Talking with your friends or
Mhm.
family, or taking a walk with your husband or whatever. But I would love to have people send me photos I can use subjects, and then my plan is to make a huge, like 2 meter by 2 meter portrait of all kinds of women.
Wow.
So like a big collage of women supporting each other, because that is the essential thing for me, that we should really um, lift each other up. And try to stop myself every time I'm thinking like, oh, you're looking at TV and thinking, yeah, she shouldn't really be wearing that. She can't really pull that off. Or why would she act like that? And we all have that little voice in our head saying,
Yeah.
yeah, why I'm better than her, or oh, she could also just go on a diet, or we all have that little devil on our shoulder. But I
You are so
really
right.
think it would
Yeah, the
be
total judge.
Mhm.
Judging
But
not only other people but ourselves at the same
exactly, when
time.
you're pointing at others, you have three fingers or four pointing back at yourself. So it's a
Exactly.
good thing
Yes.
to remember.
Yes, exactly. But I'm so excited about your next project. Can I submit a photo of me to you?
Yes, yes, I had actually meant to ask you about that because
Oh, I'm so
uh,
excited.
one thing I didn't really, because I was in such a time, I had only like 2.5 months to get this done, this
Uh-huh.
calendar. Then I tried to get models of all kinds of big diversity, but I couldn't get very many people of color or people of different. So I would love to get your contribution to my calendar, and yeah, that would be amazing. And
Well, that would be
all
awesome.
women, all ethnicities, well, what's it called? From
Ethnicity?
all different countries, yes.
Yeah, or
And
nationalities, ethnicities.
yeah,
Yes. Now listen up, audience,
yes.
ladies. I in this group midlife sisterhood, we have women from all over the world, and I hope
Hmm.
more will join us. So yeah, if you are interested, please send your photo to Anne.
And also topics. If you have something that you think that would really put a nail in what I'm struggling with, or what I think is difficult or challenging or
Mhm.
funny or great about being a midlife woman, I would love to hear about that. So it doesn't have
Mhm.
to be you as a topic. You don't have to send your own photos, but you can also,
Right.
like, if you have something you would like me to paint. And I don't know if I can do it all, but I can try.
Mhm. Yeah,
Mm.
it's all about exchanging ideas, right?
Yeah.
And striking a conversation. So now, since you talked about struggles, I want to ask you, and during this incredible transformation for you in your life, what were the main challenges or struggles that you have experienced? Can you share some with us?
Uh, Kind of, it's very basic, I think. Self-acceptance,
Mhm.
that I have to accept that I have this urge to become an artist, and this is not something that I don't think I really have a choice. I have to go take my journey down this path. And because of my very dear mother-in-law, and because we made this weird, bold, and wonderful choice to move to Bulgaria, I have the opportunity, because I don't have to. We were able to buy our house. We have a big house in the countryside. We were able to buy it cash. We would never be able to do that in Denmark, and that means we don't have any mortgage,
Mhm.
and that gives us a lot of opportunities. So being taking economy out of your life and a normal job out of your life, that sets you free in a huge way. So if there are any women out there who are going into retirement, now is your chance. I kind of retired when I was 37
Oh,
when
okay.
I'm doing my own thing. Yeah, so
You
that
mean
was
when
what
you
I thought.
moved to Bulgaria?
Yeah.
Hmm. And what
So
about your in your health wise? Have you gotten any challenges during this time, or
mm,
in terms of stress, or
less stress. I had a lot of
stress?
back pain before when I was
Mhm.
had a normal job. I never have them anymore, almost never.
Mm.
Only when I sit too long at the computer. But
Mhm,
um, I think that would be stress. Then I have some. I have unfortunately got some bowel disease that it's chronic. So I had to go through the last year and a half, I've gone through a big diet change. And that is more to do with stuff that I'm intolerant towards. So I
Mm.
can't have milk, gluten,
Mm.
onion, garlic, blah, blah, blah. I have a whole list of things that I can't have.
I
But
see.
I have had time to figure that out as well. But that's not been a choice of mine. It's just been a necessary thing to do.
Mm,
Yeah.
And can you tell us some of the routines you do for your health and well-being on an everyday basis?
I'm not very good at that, that that would be one of my to-do list. Yeah. I work a lot because this is what brings me joy, and I am my own boss now, but I'm also my worst enemy. So I'm like, come on, you have the opportunity, you have to make the full take everything you can from this. So I would love to do more sports and stuff because I
Mm,
don't do that very much. But I
mm,
don't really care that I am a bit overweight and stuff. I just, it's not important how I look for me anymore.
mhm.
A little bit, of course, but I mean, uh, that's if I can achieve something professionally, and if I can really become an artist, then that's all that matters.
I think you are an artist already.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't have to become, you are an artist. Yeah, absolutely. You have stepped right into the role and your dream. And this is
Hmm.
just such an act of courage. So, before we end this interview, I want to ask you, what are some of the words of encouragement or advice you want to
Hmm.
share with our community of midlife women here?
I think I've thought about this a lot actually because you asked me this earlier, and I've spent the last few days thinking about what would be, because I have obviously many things I would like to say, and I'm trying to paint them. But the main thing would be the sisterhood. I think it's really time to support each other and make each other stronger. And if society is not game, then we have to do it ourselves. And then we have to like take ourselves seriously because we are not done now. We are not to be hidden in a corner somewhere. Or,
Yeah,
we have so much that we can bring. And I don't understand. I really don't understand why youth is such a big deal. I don't understand why this is who we I don't know how to say it in English.
aspire to be? You mean the,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
I
it's
don't
like a gold
understand
standard.
why it's such a weird standard. Why is that what we want to be? I certainly don't want to be my 25-year-old self again.
Me neither.
No, I'm much better off now. So we have to remember that why will we let something dictate what is the best period of our lives? I don't understand why this. So we are great now. So from 40 and up, that's the way to be. I
Yeah.
think.
I'm 100% on board with you on lifting each other up and,
Mhm.
stepping into our power and our
Yeah,
wisdom. We have so
yeah.
much to offer the world. And if, the established media and people in power, they don't want to see us, that's fine. We can make
We can see
ourselves
each
seen.
other.
We see each other. I
Yeah.
see you and you see me, and we will help each other to be seen. And that is also the whole purpose of me starting this
Mhm.
group and this
Yeah.
community and this show, because I want to lift up other women in midlife. And I want everybody to hear their amazing life stories. We people often nowadays, they make snap judgments. They see your face. Oh,
Yeah.
They dismiss you. Oh,
In
you're above certain age. There's
yeah,
nothing interesting about you. Quite the opposite. I think there is so much wealth of, there's so much wisdom that we can offer. So yeah,
very
I'm
much.
100%. Yay! High five.
Yay. Yeah, so we have to get that, and this is an everyday small stuff thing that we have to do, and we have to remember in our everyday lives, because it's not something. It's there is a wave coming. There is in the big society, something is happening, but we also have to do it in our everyday lives, and support each other. That could be support each other's small businesses, or it can be like just speaking nicely to each other and helping each other. Yeah,
Absolutely. I agree so much. And thank you so much for your words of wisdom and encouragement for our community of women.
thank you very much for
Yeah.
having me.
And thank you so much for coming to our live. And your story is just amazing. And of course, it's awesome to have you as part of our community. Now, if you're watching this outside of our Facebook community, which is called the Global Midlife Sisterhood, I invite you to join us and hang out with the very cool and awesome ladies in our group. I'll drop the link in the description of this video. And there's also video training and other juicy content in our group. So please join us. And thank you, ladies, for watching this live session and showing us your love. And if you would like to go on our show and share your midlife story, please get in touch with me by DM, email, or through our Facebook group. And I can't wait to interview another amazing woman. All right, have a great day. And thank you again, Anne. See you next
You're
time.
welcome. Bye.
Bye.